So for me, I am a little. I'm actually pretty loose with the structure, so long as everything gets fit in.
Right.
If that makes any sense. And so
Like more so a time like per day kind of thing. Like is it
yeah,
like an hour, like 3, 4 hours?
yeah, that is based on like what I have available in the day,
Okay.
based on other commitments that I've made. So I like to set up my schedule and my life to make sure that I have like large chunks and windows of time. And this has also been like the last 3 years of my life since that happened. Has been like a series of trial and error, right? Trying to
Right.
figure out like what works best for me. Because, like I said, diving into more like astrology, okay, well, then, so my soul, so to speak, implanted in this body that has certain energetic qualities and energetic gifts, um, and things that work for it and don't work for it. And so, really testing that and being like, okay, when am I more um, productive? When am I more likely to like sink into a practice? And so it's taken a long time, and to also then let go of like the societal conditioning of like what that
Mhm.
means, like meditate at this time of day for this long. And I'm like, oh God, but, and then we think that that's how you have to do it for it to be successful.
Right.
And that's not necessarily true, because you can turn anything into a meditation. You can
Mhm.
turn like washing the dishes into meditation, which I think is one of the best meditations. Um, you can turn absolutely anything into your life into a meditation. So now it's more about like living deeply with intention. So I find that if I set up my days and my weeks extremely intentionally, they automatically become a meditation. And then
Mhm.
within that, if I do find time, which I do make time, but because I am committed to setting up my life that way, I don't necessarily feel the need. Like, my life isn't chaos. I don't run from one thing to the next and get pulled out of myself at a job. So because of that, I get to remain embodied for most of my day. I don't require as much focused meditation as maybe someone who
Mhm.
works for 8 hours a day at a job, and they're like, whoa, they get like,
Yeah.
they're chaotic. But back when I still was doing that, I only quit my job last December. I had a very like rigorous schedule. I would meditate in the morning before
Mhm.
work. I do death meditations in the morning. I still like to do those no matter what, even if they're informal, like while I'm driving.
Mhm.
Well, if they're informal while I'm driving, all it is just thinking about the fact that I'm going to
Mhm.
die, which sounds scary, but it's like you think about it all the time. You take the bite out of it.
Yeah.
It's not as scary anymore. And you're just like, makes you feel really urgent with
Mm.
the important things you want to do in life, makes you not care about stuff that you otherwise might be giving too much attention to,
Mhm.
treat people more kindly. Um, and so at the time, yeah, I was doing meditation in the morning. And then I would go to work and, work all day. And then immediately following work, I had like a 90-minute yoga practice that I would do following work. Come home, make food. Making food is meditative.
Mhm.
I was committed to always making my food so I could build a relationship with the food that I was eating. Because it's another thing that I think a lot of people are deeply disconnected from. And that's
Mhm.
like our primary source of energy, the quality of the energy going into us, on like a nutrition level,
Mhm.
really does change the outcome, not just from like a health and fitness
Mhm.
standpoint, but we absorb that energy and then we output it.
Mhm.
So and that was my life. That was my life, like Monday to Friday, meditate in the morning, work, 90 minutes of yoga, kind of like meditative while I would cook and eat,
Mhm.
not eating with like Netflix,
Yeah.
not eating with podcasts, just
Eating.
eating by myself with my food. Um, and then like reading or writing before going to bed.
Mhm.
I'm not necessarily journaling, but like a lot of times things would come to me in my yoga practice. And then following my yoga practice, I would be like walking home, and on that walk home, the concepts are like marinating.
Mhm.
And so by the time I was done eating, it's like I had so much I could just
Mhm.
pour out, things that became clear, things I was thinking about. And so,
Mhm.
um, since then, my life's been a little bit more all over the place. I went to Bali for a few months.
Mm.
came back, um, moved up to Squamish, and it's been a roller coaster. It's like an ever-changing roller coaster. I haven't had the support of a routine, which has challenged me in lots of new ways, which has been amazing because I think that's the ultimate goal. I want to know that everything external can change around me. I could be like the calm and the chaos.